Each day, they see the writing on the wall. It's graffiti style, but a style these inner-city kids can identify with. That's why they pack this old, dilapidated gym. To play basketball, to have fun, to become heroes. That's Pat Magley's goal. A year and a half ago, he founded Heroes Camp. Since then, it's been a special sanctuary for South Bend's urban youth.
We develop their basketball games, we develop their lives as far as what they want to do, help them try to find their talent, their niche in life, what they might be interested in doing. If they're not interested in doing anything, why, what's wrong, how can we help you, how can I better serve you?
These are some of the greatest athletes in the world, but yet none of them will die for you. Yeah, it's a harsh way to put it. That's the type of thinking that Heroes Camp is trying to instill in these youngsters.
But sooner or later, there's a payday for crime. And so the best thing that you can help a child do is to find his talent. And I said that if a kid wants to cut hair, then what you need to do, what I'll find out, okay, he wants to cut hair, then you need to enroll in cosmetology school. You need to learn how to get you some business cards and set you up a business, get insurance, get, a tax exempt, and the rest of those things, and then get you a job.
Magley can relate to the harshness. He was a former drug user himself. He saw firsthand the writing on the wall.
In a lot of ways, though Pat's 38 years old, he has the same kind of feelings that they feel. He can identify. That's when you really can help somebody, when you can identify with their suffering, when you can identify with the peer pressure.
I could use $1 million and be broke tomorrow. The needs are so great. Kids come to me, they have holes in their sneakers, they don't have breakfast. Kids need haircuts, they need hygiene things. It breaks your heart when you feel it, when you feel their importunity. It crushes your heart.
In South Bend, Vic Lombardi, Newswatch 28.
Stop crime in South Bend targets kids at an early age. One local man is working to improve the lives of area children. Eyewitness News reporter Laurie Plant has the story.
Today, kids from a city housing authority project are bused to the Wings of Faith Church. It's a daily outreach program designed to give them something to do.
It's fun, and you get to learn new stuff. The Pat be teaching you, and you get to watch movies and stuff. Well, it keeps me out of trouble, I know that.
And that's the idea here. What do they learn?
We just talk about Jesus continually and put love on them and encourage them to be somebody. Don't be afraid of someone else's opinion about your life.
This is one of several inner-city projects designed to guide children, keep them off the streets and out of trouble. Pat Magley, who leads the programs, says recent violence on the city's near west side brings to light what these kids handle every day.
Drug dealers, selling drugs, the works. A lot of people are dying because they're taking drugs and stuff.
Will my wild older brother be arrested again tonight? Will there be another shooting in the neighborhood tonight? This is the news, so we are making news every day that we live our lives.
How do you help these kids handle that?
Talk about pertinent issues continually, about sex and drugs and hygiene, about racism, what to do when those things come into your life, abortion, the issues, things that they have to deal with in their young lives.
Magley says he wants to be a mentor for the kids involved in his program and a friend.
That's good that we got somebody like Pat, loving and caring person.
In South Bend, Laurie Plant, WSBT Eyewitness News.
To make a lasting impression, Heroes Camp is doing just that on hundreds of young people here in the South Bend area. And here's Pat to tell us how it all got started. Hi, Pat. How are you doing?
Hi, Deb. How are you doing today?
Doing real good. Real
Praise
good.
the Lord.
Tell us how it got started, Heroes Camp.
Well, our church, New Wings of Faith, had moved into the old Indiana Democratic Club, and everybody was real busy working. We were excited because we were without a building for a while. We were at the Century Center, and we moved in, and I looked back behind what we had as the sanctuary, and it was a room with just a lot of debris back there, really, just a lot of junk. And I looked at my pastor, I said, "Can I have this room?" And he said, "For what?" I said, I believe I could put a gym back here and we get some kids saved, And he said, "Go for it." So I think that, he really didn't know the depth of my vision because it came from the Lord. But shortly after that, we started the Heroes Camp. About 6 weeks later, it took a lot of work, and the Lord met us every step of the way. But it's been wonderful, and it's been a great experience. I'm from the city, and I'm a debtor.
Okay.
And I appreciate what the Lord has done for me and what I'm able to do, and the little small staff that we have, and just giving kids an alternative place to go that's controlled. Yeah.
Okay, we've got some footage that I'd like you to explain as we go to it right now.
Okay. Well, that's what we're doing right there. You know, guys standing on the sideline, they've lost. They're kind of angry. And we play games to 7, and the winner stays on the court. And it's very competitive, and we play real hard, no crying. If you don't like it, you work a little bit harder on your game or go over there and get on the weights. At that point right there, we're ministering the Lord, ministering the Word of God, teaching about race and hygiene and sex, things that they need to know about in a balanced atmosphere.
And this is what happens every Saturday?
Every Saturday, Monday, and Thursday.
And what's the age group?
On Saturday, on the Monday and Thursday, is 3:30 to 6. The age group is 15 on up. And the age groups on Saturday are at 10 o'clock in the morning, 6 through 11 years come. And then at 12:15, we have 12, 13, and 14 years old come. And at 2:30, we have 15 on up again come. And that's on Saturday.
Well, this is a shot of some of the posters that you have there, and there are different types of heroes. Tell us about how you came about the title Heroes for Heroes Camp.
I know in my life that I needed a hero. And I've had a very good mother and a father. But everybody needs a hero outside of the home. And I didn't know Christ growing up. And so athletic heroes were my heroes. And I found them to fail me. Not because that they were bad people, but because they didn't have the ability to satisfy their inner need. And so when I saw what was going on, one day I looked up and I said, man, we all need heroes, with Christ being the chief cornerstone or the ultimate hero. And that's why I named the thing, the Lord basically gave the name also, was the Heroes Camp.
Okay.
But we also need earthly heroes that we can touch. Jesus, to some, is far away, but we need an earthly hero that we can touch. And I'm desiring to live a righteous life that I may be able to be a father to young men that are without that type of role model in their home.
Okay. Who are the young people who are entitled to this sort of exposure to be a part of your Heroes Camp?
Anybody basically is welcome to come. You can't come with a funky attitude. You got to take your attitude off outside and leave it outside before you come in.
Now, what's a funky attitude?
Racism, and, drugs, all that stuff. The person that comes and is on drugs, he's allowed to come that first time because he doesn't understand what's going on. But from there on, to be entitled to come to a free gym, he has to lay it down. Everybody has to lay something down. And doesn't anything get it but getting it. And that was the thing that about the body of Christ. These are our days right here. And if we don't want to get it, then there's no use in crying, because the world is going to continue to get worse. And we need to go out and help people. And that's what I've committed my life to do. My wife is committed to do that. I'm a very busy individual, so I'm not into a lot of people crying and being crybabies. So when they come to the gym, if they don't like it, then they can do one or two things. Work a little bit harder on the game and pay a little bit attention, or a little bit more attention, or don't come back. Because there's always going to be some more kids. There's always kids. And that's the thing. Everywhere I look, there's kids.
There was a time when you were offering a reward for someone who was able to beat you.
Oh, it's still standing.
Playing basketball.
It's still
Explain that
standing
to our viewers, so in case someone's out there that looks at you and says, well, I can take this man. He's not too tough. What's the reward?
I'm 37 years old. I'm an ex-alcoholic and an ex-drug addict. I did play basketball in college for 4 years. But any teenager that thinks that they need a new pair of pumps, BKs, Nikes, you name it, you can get it from me. If you can beat me one-on-one up to 21, my ball first, make it, take it.
Well, there's the offer. Make it, take it, up to 21. Nikes, you're talking these $100 gym shoes?
Whatever. In the last 9 months, I haven't bought one pair.
When was the last time you bought a pair?
I've never bought a pair.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay, so if you can't get the Nikes, maybe you might be able to come away with a shirt. And this is one of the T-shirts that you offer. There's a bookstore over there in that building, too, isn't there?
Yes, there's a bookstore, Deb, and we don't sell those shirts. We give those shirts away. The Lord has been very gracious to us because there have been people that have donated money to the camp, and we're looking for funding right even now. And we want children to be able to have something from their experience at Heroes Camp that they could wear to school or around their little neighborhoods and be able to witness for the Lord and to be able to witness to Heroes Camp. If they don't, you know, a prerequisite to coming to Heroes Camp is that is not that you're a Christian. But you're always going to hear the Word of God. That's the payment that you have to give up. You have to give up your ears. And in the meantime, we give up the court. So I feel like that's a very fair exchange.
Okay. I see young men in that footage. What about the girls? Do you have anything for the young ladies?
As I get into this thing more full-time, we're down there 3 days a week, and I work a 40-hour-a-week job, and plus ministering, I'm somewhat contained by my time element. But as the funding for this thing comes in, we would like to get out of that gym and get a larger gym and really be able to instruct basketball and have 2 courts, one for recreation, one for basketball players, 4 or 5 exercise bikes, a bigger kind of a place. And on that shirt it says spirit, soul, and body, ministering to the body, ministering to the soul, which is the mind and the will and the emotions, and igniting the spirit part of man that he may see which way he could go as the earth continues to get darker.
Okay. Do you have any special speakers that come in for you?
Well, we've had 4 or 5 different special occasions. We had a concert put on by Square One to raise money to send some missionary high school students to Jamaica. And then we also have sponsored a youth destructive behavior weekend where we just studied what youth are into today. And we had evangelist Joseph Jennings. He's also a national anti-drug speaker. My pastor, Willie Coach Jr., Len Coleman of the South Bend Police Force, Anthony Scott was there also. And it was very, very good. We heard from the kids and what their beefs were, and we heard from the parents, and it was very constructive. People coming together, just continue putting down our differences, coming together as equals, and hearing one another, and caring and loving for one another.
Okay, so do you anticipate that there are a lot of young people that come there that probably haven't had any type of person reach out to them the way that you're doing?
I ask that on a continued basis. Who else ministers this way to you, or who else tells you about Jesus? And most of the questions that I ask are answered by my grandparents. And if not my grandparents, then nobody. And so it is a church outreach. I know in order to catch a shark, you would need more than a worm, you know. And so I figured by, you know, laying it out there, not to say that I'm such a good basketball player anymore, you know what I'm saying, but I feel that using the means of athletics as a keystone or cornerstone to bring kids in as ordinarily, I would ask them, how many of you all come just to hear me preach? And no, and I'm not stupid either, you know what I mean? I know how that thing works because I know how I was when I was in that age group, and I didn't want to hear it. But everybody wants to ball, you know? Baseball players, football players, they all want to play basketball. It seems like to be the common sport of the street. Yeah.
Okay, we've got about a minute left. Looking forward to the future, what type of budget is it going to take for you to be able to do the things that you're hoping to do?
Really, Deborah, the sky is the limit. I have the heart for it because God has given me that heart. And whatever people want, they have to put their money there. You know, they can't just give lip service to it. And too often the Christian people, they're scared today. And because they're having to lay it down or they're having to just get out of it altogether. And it's taking more commitment, more prayer. You know, it's not enough to know about prayer or teach about prayer, but you got to pray. And it's the same way to know how to witness versus witnessing. And witnessing with your whole life and being committed. So I would say, you know, anywhere from $1 million to $10 million, I could use all the money that I could get. I myself am not trying to build no financial empire for my own self because I understand how money can take you away from your goal. I've watched that happen with other people. God has allowed me and graced me. So, you know, whatever somebody could help us with at this time, our needs are very, very great.
Okay.
But one thing I'd also like to mention is that our church does have other outreaches. We have Ernie Fletcher's New Beginnings Cafe on Wednesday and Friday nights. We have a drug meeting sponsored by Charles Adams and James Jennings on Thursday night. And I believe the meeting is at 7:30 or 8 o'clock at the church. They have Women in Covenant at the church. There's a lot of things going on at New Wings, and it's a church for the unlovable, those that need a refuge. And I'm very proud to go to that church, yes.
Okay, Pat. Well, we're going to give the people a telephone number so that they'll know how to contact you, and if they want to get involved, they can.
Yes.
All righty. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Deb.
All right. If you'd like to become involved in Heroes Camp, you can just call Pat at 219-234-7506. Don't go away. We'll be back with some fashion.